like all of my ideas, this is not original. This is not something that I thought of. I don't know where I got the source, but it's literally dumbing your fear down or what you want to do to the dumb. Like, I mean the extreme. So I'll give you an example. I was at a seminar that it's called Landmark. And I was sitting next to this guy, great guy, we're friends today, and he's going through a divorce, he's breaking up with his business partner, and he has kids. Those are all three big life events, to say the least. And me, as a 30-year-old, is putting it in perspective to him as a 55-year-old, and I'm like, can I just talk to you for like 2 seconds? He's like, all right, fine. So what he wants to do is start his own firm. He's going through a divorce and he has kids. So I just said, and he's worried about his kids, obviously, but I said, what is the worst thing that can literally happen? You lose your home, which millions of people did in 2009. They're still alive. You lose your home. Say you start the business and it fails. With any fear, you have to go down to the ridiculous. And I just said this today. I was on a 75-mile bike ride, and the guy that I was biking with, it was a race, but the guy I was biking with, we were discussing it. I was like, what is the worst thing that can happen? Say for me, here it is. I'll take my example. I won't even use his example, even though, okay, I'll say it really quick. For him, it was, he'll lose his house. He loses his house. It's kind of a big deal. He then, finds another home, a smaller one? And then he reduces, like, say his business fails. That's what he's looking to do, start his own business. Say it starts failing, which is all a mindset, but I won't even get into that. But say it starts failing. He loses his house, or he sells it and reduces his living. Then he starts withdrawing, or stops spending as much money. And then he's still going through the divorce, and then he's worried about dating. I'm like, yeah, but you have kids. I thought that was your concern. Yes, it is. Okay, great. So you lose your house, you go into something smaller, you reduce what you're spending each month. Then you reduce it anymore, or even more. Then the business is you're in debt. Now, worst case scenario, you're still alive. Okay? You move in with your parents, or you move in with a friend, or you move in a hotel, or you put it on credit card. Like, the worst case scenario does not happen. Like, people feel that like the worst case will happen. The biggest thing is, I'll give you two examples. One is, I was at a pizza shop downtown, and the guy behind the counter, I got to talking to him, great guy, and I was like, oh, he started talking about his life, and he lost all of his savings in Madoff, all of it, like literally his entire retirement. He was 65, he lost everything. He's now working in a pizza shop, okay? That's how extreme it went. He went from like, I'm retiring to, I now need to work. And I'm not saying pull out the sympathy card. I know people are like, well, you're not in that situation. You're not, what would you do? It's like, you're still living. There's no death. Like, things need to be, what I'm doing is put into perspective. There's parts of this world that people don't know if they're going to live tomorrow. There's parts of this world, they don't know if they're going to get food or water or shelter or clothing. You starting your business and it fails, which it probably will, is not the worst thing. You're going to survive. You will find a way to survive. Humans are way more capable than you think. So for myself, I'll give you an example. I just made a video about me getting into real estate and quitting my 9-to-5 job. What was the worst case scenario? So let's go to me starting my business, which was last year. 2014. 2014? Yeah, 2014. So I started a real estate business. The worst thing that can happen is people were telling me it's stupid, it's a waste of time, you're not going to do well. I actually did so well that I hired people, and we're looking to hire more. And the reason being is that the only person that truly knows where it's going to go was me. And the worst thing that could happen to me is, say this actually happened. My business fails, which I had about 7 months of a 7-month gap for it to work. Obviously, we're past that. We're going on 2 years. So number one is say it fails. It fails. I now have to move home. That sucks. I have no money and everything's on credit card. I now have to make money. I'm now going to be caddying. I'm going to be working at night or doing real estate jobs that pay salary until I get back on my feet. Number one, it's extremely embarrassing. I'm thinking that. It's going to be really embarrassing. All of my friends know. All my family, my friends, my family friends, everyone knows. It's all over social media. Charles is now caddying. Okay, great. Like carrying golf clubs. I caddied for 7 years when I was younger. And it pays really well. It pays like 300 cash. Imagine being 15 and getting 300 cash a day. Like, that's insane. So what it really comes down to, I think this is the real reason people don't go after what they want, is because they're afraid not of the failure, but if it fails and people know that it fails. Wow, that's actually really good. I think that is the reason. It's not actually the act of failing. It's what people think of your business failing. It's public. People are going to know. Most people that are billionaires and millionaires have had multiple huge failures, massive failures. If you're not playing at a large enough, if you're not failing, you're not playing at a large enough level. And that's me included. All these ideas are not me. These are people way smarter than me that I got from books. And that, my friends, is what is the worst thing that can happen? Just think of it. Dumb it down to the worst. You're going to be surviving. You're still going to be having food. Maybe not as often. You don't get to go to that concert or that sports game or live in that nice apartment or go out with your friends or vacation or whatever for maybe 2 years or a year because it failed. But you know what? What is worse, as Les Brown says, than living your entire life looking back and saying you regret something as big as starting a business? So my biggest advice is to say, if you want to do something, look at the dumbest thing that can happen, the worst thing that can happen. And let me ask you a question. Will you survive? Yeah, it's like, unless you're like, I'm looking to do a quadruple backflip off of a mountain into a river on a bike, then yeah, I think that's stupid. Unless you know how to do it. Then it's like, go ahead and do it. So dumb it down to the obvious, or dumb it down to the dumbest, and you'll still be there. It needs to be put in perspective. Look at how much you're going to regret it if you don't do it. Subscribe to the videos. I come out with a video practically every single day. Maybe a little advice, a little interpersonal, a little self-development, some book reviews. I'm about to review this book. So Charles Bodensten here. Subscribe to the videos. I also have a vlogging channel that I'm going to be adding to, and I also have Instagram. All those links are in the description. If you have any questions, leave in the comments below. I'll talk to you guys soon.